Good evening folks, another episode of Whitebeard's Kitchen. So what I'm doing today is very simple. It's a chili beef. This is my version. I do like mine hot. So what I have in here is roughly about a tablespoon of olive oil. Now I'm going to slightly do mine different. I like to brown my onions off first. So in goes roughly a medium onion, and I just have that sliced. I'm going to brown the onions, not a dark brown, but just, I suppose, translucent. So this will probably take roughly about anything maybe 5 to 8 minutes. This is my little cast iron pan, frying pan, skillet, whatever you wish to call it. It can get super hot. So apologies in advance for any swearing should I accidentally touch the handle of this during the cooking process and not use a cloth. So I'll be back in about 5 to 8 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 6 minutes and the onions, I've got them just to the colour that I want them. So I'm just going to turn this, I had this kind of at the medium to medium high. I'm going to kind of turn this to medium low, and what I'm going to do is just add in, it's about, I like my garlic, again, as you well know. I'm going to add in roughly about 5 large garlic cloves that I've just finely chopped. Okay, so that's that in. I'm just going to fry that round for about a few minutes, just so, take the rawness out of the garlic and let it become kind of fragrant. Okay, so let that go. And because this is such a very hot pan and it doesn't cool down, it's not a very forgiving pan. I'll just keep stirring this so the garlic doesn't burn. As I say, it's on a kind of medium low. Okay. And already I can smell that garlic, the fragrance of it coming through. So as I say, just for about a minute, almost like minutes up. Okay, now to add the mince in. So I have 450 grams of minced beef going in, roughly about 450 grams. Okay. So I just want to get this nice, get this kind of like brown colour. You're probably wondering why, I'm going to be honest, it looks maybe a tiny bit mushy. It's because I've taken it out of the freezer earlier this morning, and as you know, you're obviously going to get a bit of water, drain that off, squeeze it. So, anyway, I'll be back and show you the colour that I want. Right, so I've got a good colour on the meat. Next to go in, and this is roughly, this is 3 jalapenos that are going in to the chili, or the beef I should say. It will be chili shortly. Just going to give this a very quick stir. I've got this now, some of the fat coming from the meat ratio to fat. So it's about 18% fat, and what do I know? Fat means flavour. It does indeed. I'm going to turn this down now to a low because I'm going to add some spices in before I add anything else. For this chili, and I like mine hot, but please do reduce. So I'm putting in, so that's a complete tablespoon of extra hot chili powder. So that's a tablespoon and a half, I'll make it 2, never mind, of regular chili powder. 1 teaspoon, level teaspoon of cumin powder, and next some black pepper. So I'm going to say roughly about 3/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. So turn this down to a low, give this a mix round, just to mix the spices through with the beef. And now I need to remember not to hold the handle too much as it gets warmer by the second. Okay. So unfortunately I don't have this evening any fresh tomatoes. One has not being too sharp. So I'm adding in just chopped tomatoes from a tin. So that's 400 grams chopped tomato. And give that kind of a mix around as well. Turn this back up to now to medium low. So sorry, got it sitting at a medium at the moment. Okay, so give that a good mix through. And depending on the taste, I may add more chilli in. I do like a very spicy hot chili. But with the extra hot chili powder, a tablespoon of that, the jalapenos that I went in, and the regular chili powder, 2 tablespoons of that. This should be mighty hot, along with the cumin as well, and the tiny taste of black pepper. I know people can make this, there's tax in it, and I don't think it has black beans or anything like that in it, or any kidney beans. People add kidney beans. I just like black beans going in. So that's roughly about 200 grams going into that. And last but not least, I'm going to add some beef stock to this. You could use water if you like, but these are just beef cubes, so nothing terribly fancy. So I have 2 beef cubes roughly, and about 400 mils, and I'll add in roughly about 300 at the moment. And I'm going to, seeing I won't be having dinner until later, I'm going to turn this down to a medium low. I will come back from time to time just to give this a stir, so that nothing should stick. But this pan is a bit temperamental, being cast iron. Certainly this one is. It's quite a number of years old, and it's one of my best buys ever. Okay, I'm going to let that sit initially with the lid off for about half an hour. Then I'll come back and put a lid or covering on it, and I'll show you when this is actually completed. Okay, so I have had this on a very low heat. It's near ready, so just what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in half a teaspoon now of smoked paprika. This is totally optional. This is how I like it. Okay, so give that a bit of a stir around. And I've added the rest, by the way, when I was off camera, the other 150 mils or 100 mils of water. So I'll let this cook. And I've done it without the lid, just kept it on a very low heat, moved it to a different, very small ring on my gas hob here, and let that cook for probably about 10 minutes or so, maybe, and I'll be back. Coming to the end, what I'm going to do is add a couple of small squares of dark chocolate to this. It's 70%. If I had higher, I would use it. So it's 70% cocoa. I'm just going to mix that through, let it melt. And I find, I've seen this in some Mexican cooking, of how they maybe add dark chocolate to some dishes. I always do this with my chili, if I have it. For me, I think it takes a little bit of the sting off the spice. Now, I haven't tasted this, but as I say, this is darn hot. This is like a lava. That's the tiny piece of chocolate that I have put in. It's now melted. It's darkened the colour. And it might dumb the spice ever so slightly. Well, I know it does, but not to a great degree. Okay, so that's that ready. I will let you know what it tastes like. So here we are, my really hot chili. Now I'm going to taste this. I'll not take a wee taste of the rice, I'm just going to have a taste of the chili itself. Now for the taste test. So black beans still have a tiny bit of a bite, which is great. I can taste the garlic, I can taste the mince. It is spicy, there's no doubt about that. Kind of gets you kind of around the side of the tongue and the back of the throat. You think it's not going to, it kind of comes up on you like a vapour. Do give this a try. If you want to cut down on the spice or even add more, please do so. Do try it. I'm going to say, look after your friends, family, and everyone else around you. Take care of yourself. See you soon. Rock on, and bye for now. Wait for your attention.